Hello doctor, I'm Anwarul Adzizi and I would like to present to you my take on the personal security assignment. Cybersecurity threats, which are type of cybercrime, can be described as illegal activities which are making use of any computer or smartphone as primary means of commotion with intention to cause harm against individuals or group of individuals. According to MyCert incident statistics for year 2021, there are a total of 10,000 cases of cybersecurity incidents reported in Malaysia, with cybercrime in form of intrusion, cyber harassment and fraud contributes 81% of the total incidents reported, where fraud is the most overwhelmingly reported at 70% of the total incidents. Fraud incidents can come in form of telecommunication fraud or in its popular name, Macau scam, where the cybercriminals may use local or international phone lines to trick victims to transfer large sums of money. Part of this modus operandi may include phishing method, which uses social engineering to manipulate people into revealing information or performing tasks that compromises security. Another prevalent frauds modus operandi is through more technical ways such as through software engineering methods such as spywares and malwares, which are normally downloaded to the victim's PCs or smartphones, that can be done by drive-by downloads, visiting malicious websites, clicking HTML from spam emails, or clicking advertisement posts. Then the malware install is used to steal banking credentials after infections. Phishing attacks are a type of social engineering strategy that may mask as legitimate and trusted source, which will gain individuals' personal data and login credentials. In the incident's case, it is done through several social engineering methods, which are through intimidation, urgency, familiarity, and guilt. In Incident 1, through intimidation, we can see perpetrator threaten police reports to be made if the victim did not perform the transaction. This also executes urgency, whereby the victim becomes panicked and transferred the required amount of money. Another urgency is imposed where the perpetrator repeatedly call and message the victim, even though the number is blocked. The perpetrator also executed the sense of guilt to the victim, whereby it forced the victim to be empathized that the money should be rightfully transferred back to the perpetrator. Meanwhile, in Incident 2, the perpetrators are using almost the similar social engineering methods such as intimidation and urgency, whereby the perpetrator threaten and repeatedly call and send messages. On top of that, the perpetrator used the familiarity method, whereby the perpetrator send family photos knowing the relationship of the victim. Apart from social engineering skills towards the victim's emotion and social abilities, the perpetrator had also chosen the appropriate time to do the attack, which is nearly the time of closing for bank, so that it left the victim with very little window for complaints and checking with the bank's representatives. Spyware is software type which may track users' online and offline activities for the purpose of targeted advertising or engage in activities that can be described as undesirable and invasive. So, spyware can be installed to the PCs or smartphones through bundled program of softwares, clicking HTML links, or by connecting unsecured public Wi-Fi or hotspots, which acts as an evil twin whereby victims connect to a similar SSID Wi-Fi that masks the legitimate SSID. Malware, in other hand, is a software type which is intentionally developed to infect devices with the purpose to leak private information or data, interrupt networks, or any activities which may compromise security and privacy of the users. It may be distributed the same way as spywares, both of them capable to steal private information and data of the victims without victims knowing about it. Even with download of anti-malware apps in the phone, some of these apps are pretending to be legitimate, but in actual fact they are malicious. Therefore, we can find evidence in the incidents whereby the perpetrator has access to the victim's online banking account. This could be highly possible through the use of spyware and malware to steal victims' personal information. It is believed that the perpetrator has maliciously gained access to the victim's online banking information and also SMS retrieval in order to execute the activities. This could be done by using either installed spyware or malware to the victim's PC or smartphone. There are two potential causes of the incidents. First is using unsecured public Wi-Fi to connect to the internet. First, victim gain public Wi-Fi access to SSID and password information via an evil twin. Then the perpetrator could secretly install spyware in the victim's device, which will run in the background to monitor keystrokes and trace online activities of the victim's device. The victim could be accessing some sensitive websites such as online banking using this Wi-Fi connection. Even the victim did not browse the sensitive website using this Wi-Fi connection, the spyware might be able to trace online and offline activities of the victim once logged off and connected again using the same net connections. The perpetrator may use the information to get access to the victim's banking information and subsequently steal money from the victim's bank account. This method is normally effective to parsimonious individuals or individuals who spend much of their online time at public spaces. Secondly, the victim might have accidentally installed spyware or get the devices infected with malware after the victim clicked a link from spam email or installed pirate software into their device. In this case, the victim may use their own personal internet connection. However, the perpetrator could gain access to the victim's personal information through installation of spyware or malware infection to the victim's device due to victim's own negligence. However, even with both methods, despite ability for the perpetrator to gain access to the victim's online banking account, the perpetrator may still need the TAC, which shall be sent to the victim's smartphone. In this case, social engineering methods may need to be done. There are two solutions or preventions to the incidents which can be practiced by smartphone or PC users. One is through awareness and education, and another one is through the use of technology to prevent scammers. Firstly, in awareness aspects, users have to be aware and to be updated of any safety and protection guidelines against scam which should be provided by the authorities. In this case, government agencies such as PDRM or MCMC shall alert public on the latest modus operandi of scam, which users must be consistently updated with. For example, users should not receive calls from suspicious callers with weird caller ID or unrecognized numbers calling from abroad. Another example, users should also be wary of malicious websites. Secondly, through technology, users may install certain trusted third-party applications which can identify blacklisted numbers such as Truecaller or similar applications. This is especially true if the perpetrator are using internet communication media such as WhatsApp to execute their social engineering methods for the purpose of gaining access to the personal information such as TAC and passwords. Authorities can also easily trace the perpetrators or scammers from crowdsourced data or blacklisted numbers and take swift action against them, which will then bring to the proposed long-term prevention. Therefore, I would like to propose two long-term prevention of similar incidents. From both incidents, we can see that social engineering methods are highly manipulated to the perpetrator's advantage. Therefore, it is highly recommended that authorities to hunt down scammers who are manipulating social engineering for scamming purposes. One of the proposed prevention is through making full use of crowdsourced data, which can be obtained for the third-party caller verification applications like Truecaller, to hunt for possible scammers. Authorities may collaborate with these caller verification applications to exchange information on blacklisted numbers, or authorities may collaborate with telecommunication service providers such as TMS6064 or Cellcom to exchange registered information of their subscribers to identify any potential scammers in malicious soil. For international phone numbers, authorities may need to collaborate with international authorities such as Interpol to track international scammers. Apart from scammer policing, another proposed long-term prevention is for authorities in charge of financial policy matters to strengthen and impose stricter policies on money transfers as accordance to Anti-Money Laundering, Anti-Terrorism Financing and Proceeds of Unlawful Activities Act 2001 or AMLA 2001. This shall include restricting cross-border cash transfers and also hunting of money mules. Money mules are individuals who own a mule account which is used to perform money transactions illegally on behalf of scammers. These money mules can be unwitting, knowing or complicit to the illegal activities. Authorities must educate bank account owners not to fall under unwitting money mules whereby the account can be used without their knowledge. As a conclusion, incidents involving online and phone scams are getting very serious every single day because the amount of lost money involved are getting bigger and the perpetrators are using more advanced technology to execute their illegal operations. The incidents can be avoided at large if both parties, users and authorities, play their parts in society. For phone and internet users, it is very important for them to be aware and get an updated information of latest scamming tactics from the authorities or trusted sources. Authorities also must play their part not only to spread awareness and update public on the latest scam tactics, but also to regulate and formulate policies, strengthen and enforce laws which may hamper perpetrators' efforts to execute scamming and illegal activities. Thank you very much.